Vampire Weekend are an indie pop, art pop band from New York City fronted by Mr. Ezra Koenig, and they have just released a brand new full-length album. Here it is. Also, yes, fully aware that the room I'm in right now is not the normal one because it's the new room, bitch. Get used to it. That old room's nothing. That shit's history. I hope you didn't have any huge attachment to that old room because it's gone, motherfucker. Well, I mean, it's still a thing that exists. I still sleep in that room. I just don't, record in there anymore. This is now the studio, if you will. I decided, me and my friend over the last week or so have been just putting together this shed, and I'm sorry I've not really been uploading much. It's been a while since my last video. I've been a bit slack in there. Life has just been running its course. I haven't really been able to make time for YouTube for whatever reason, so I apologize for the wait on like a new video and stuff. But I've been recently very inspired to record and shit. Been watching a few of my peers, as I always do. David, your new Logic review. Fucking church, bro. Which, by the way, shit, Logic dropped an hour. I have to do another skit. For fuck's sake. Like, that last skit took so long to edit. Bro, like, another one? Why? Let me shut up and just review this. Okay, the Vampire Weekend are back. 18-track long album, 56 minutes, I think, just under an hour long. Again, really excited for this, been excited for this for years, and unfortunately, in my humble opinion, this album, I think it's incredibly scattered. I think it lacks much of an identity at all, really, and I don't really think it shows any advancement for the band beyond what they have pulled off in the past. Comparatively to their last couple albums, this is a lot less dim and a lot more kind of summery in sound. However, the lyrics are often kind of bleak on this album, but they're just kind of contrasted alongside more jovial music. At times that works quite well in this album's favor, and other times it can feel a bit awkward, but generally I just think the ambition, the ear for groove and melody is just nowhere near as exciting, as musically creative as it has been in the past, and just the way these songs are structured are often really similar to. I think the option to sort of have the general tone of this album be kind of like this uplifting, like just push on with life, it's a very kind of invigorating album where it's kind of like opting for a very invigorating sound. I think in doing that ends up just being a bit bland and toneless. Like damn near every track just has this really kind of safe, just sort of cheerful tone to it that just never really excites me. The sound palette on this thing just isn't really that interesting at all. The melodies, the guitar licks, the vocal performances from Ezra. Sure, there are so many like loose instrumentals and loose verses and loose songs over the 6 years it's taken to put this album together, and they've eventually landed on this body of work, but I just think it just feels like a sketchbook of ideas, really. Like, to me, Contra and Modern Vampires of the City in particular, those two albums have such a strong and potent atmosphere and tone to them as you listen to it that really immerses you in, and the sound of this album is just way too brittle to ever reach that point. There are a few pretty interesting tracks. I think the song How Long is, in my opinion, like the clear stunner on the album. Some of the sound effects they toy with on this track are really interesting. They're really catchy, so many cool little melodies going on, and the lyrics are pretty fun too. Well, I mean, it's sort of outlining the demise of the human race, like, how long until we all sink and shit, it kind of has that sort of apocalyptic kind of tone, but it's contrasted kind of humorously with a more sort of sunny song, and I just think that combo works quite well. The song Unbearably White, I remember being quite bleak as well lyrically. I think that the title Unbearably White is referencing just sort of Ezra's view on the world. It's all very cold and just white, and he's just doesn't really have much hope on this song, it seems. I think that lyrical tone kind of suits the like somber feel of this song too. I think the song Stranger is pretty cool. I love the keys on the song Stranger. The hook also really reminds me of Ooh Child, Things Are Gonna Get Easy. The 5 steps, it really reminds me of that. I think that must have been like a homage or something. But I find it really catchy. I think the vocal melody he pulls off is actually super infectious, and I think just the general tone again of this song, just sort of all about just like embracing change as opposed to running away from it, I think is really nice. But there are quite a few songs on here that just feel fucking really inconsequential and just awkward. The opening track is so awkward, man. Like when the choir vocals come in, I feel like it should be, I think it was trying to be like some huge like invigorating moment, but it just falls so flat for me, man. And when the vocals get all stretched, that just sounds gross. Also, Daniel Hyam from the band Hyam has quite a few appearances on this album, but I feel like her voice, again, the whole time to me is just really tone deaf. I don't really feel like she's packing much emotion into her performance at all. She doesn't really feel like she's giving her all at any point on this album. Her voice is pleasant, it's melodically sweet and all, but I just don't really get much out of it whenever she does appear. Again, it just feels a little bit toneless to me. My Mistake, I think, could have been so much more. That track had some really cool string arrangements going on and shit, and the lyrics as well are really interesting, but the song just fizzles out and just has a really odd, awkward pace to it too. There's a moment where it like kind of awkwardly stops and starts, and I don't know, man. Like, I caught a few themes of just like betrayal and mistrust in these lyrics, and I think that kind of nicely complemented the sort of, again, kind of sorrowful tone of the instrumental, but it just kind of went nowhere and awkwardly transitioned to the next song, Sympathy, which is like the most upbeat track on the album. I find the vocal line, the like, I find that vocal line really redundant on Sympathy. Sunflower and Flower Moon it's a weird back-to-back combo in the album that doesn't really fit too well for me. Flower Moon is kind of interesting, I guess, although the effects on Ezra's voice on that track just did not work for me at all. Spring Snow as well, the auto-tune thing that just pops in on that song just annoys me. Harmony Hall, decent single, really slick grooves on that thing, hard to dislike it. It pretty much retains most of what makes Vampire Weekend appealing, so I'm not mad at that song necessarily. Some of the shorter tracks just feel kind of awkward and pointless, like Big Blue and 2021. The boy thing on 2021, that shit is so annoying. The way the drums like awkwardly skitter and scatter out of time on that track is also just a bit annoying. Final track is a pretty nice, endearing closer where Ezra Koenig seems to be talking to God and he's reflecting on his religion. That's why the title is Jerusalem, New York, Berlin. Apparently those are the three like cities that are mostly affiliated with Judaism. I think the keys on that track work pretty well, given that the song is kind of reflective and introspective lyrically, but overall though, this thing was also just a bit of a mess to me. I'm feeling a 5 out of 10 score on it, but what did you think? Did you love it? Did you think it was awesome? Let me know if you hated it or anything, whatever you thought of it. Just tell me in the comments, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next review. Sorry for the wait again, and I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day, and let me know if you think this shed sucks. If you do, sorry. This is how it is now, motherfucker. Yeah, that's everything. Yeah, thanks again for watching. See you on the next one.